The galaxy was vast, filled with countless civilizations, some peaceful, others warlike. But among the stars, there was a fragile peace maintained by an alliance of planets, each with their own leaders, customs, and laws. One of the most enigmatic members of this alliance was the planet Zhar'thul, home to a race of blue-skinned, ethereal beings known as the Zyra, famed for their advanced healing abilities and their royal bloodline that was said to be blessed by the stars themselves. Princess Lyra of Zhar'thul was the shining jewel of the alliance, wise beyond her years, gentle yet fiercely protective of her people. But peace is always fragile, and when an uprising of rogue mercenaries attacked the Zhar'thul capital during an intergalactic summit, the princess was gravely wounded, and her life hung by a thread. In the chaos, the Alliance's greatest healers were captured or scattered, leaving only one hope. A human medic named Dr. Ethan Mars, who had volunteered to accompany the summit as a goodwill gesture but was mostly regarded as a junior field medic with little experience dealing with alien biology. Chapter 1: The Attack. Ethan had never imagined he'd be thrust into a war zone. He was trained to heal soldiers and civilians on Earth, dealing with trauma, infections, and the usual human ailments. Alien anatomy was a mystery, a terrifying unknown. The day of the summit was bright, the grand hall glittering with diplomatic delegates from dozens of planets. Ethan had been tasked with general medical support. But when the mercenaries stormed in, armed with plasma rifles and biodisruptors, chaos erupted. He barely had time to react as blasts tore through walls and the screams of injured echoed everywhere. He saw the princess fall, struck by a weapon that emitted a strange green glow. Her blue skin paled, and she collapsed to the ground. Panic surged through the crowd, but Ethan's training kicked in. He rushed to her side, kneeling down to assess her condition. "Help her! She's the princess!" a frantic Zyra guard shouted. Ethan's fingers trembled as he examined her. Her breathing was shallow, and the green wound pulsated with a toxic aura he'd never seen before. Chapter 2: The Impossible Task. Ethan's comm device crackled with voice commands from his superiors. "Evacuate immediately. The area is compromised." But he couldn't leave. The princess needed help, and the other healers were nowhere to be found. He carefully peeled back the torn fabric over her wound, noticing strange energy coursing through her veins, unlike anything human medicine covered. He had to think fast. Reaching into his medkit, Ethan pulled out a universal biostimulator, an experimental device designed to accelerate cellular repair, but never tested on alien physiology. Desperation left him no choice. He activated it, hoping it would help neutralize the toxin in her bloodstream. Seconds passed like hours. Her breathing steadied, her skin slowly regaining a faint glow. Ethan allowed himself a brief sigh of relief. But the princess's eyes fluttered open, meeting his gaze with a mixture of pain and gratitude. Chapter 3: Trust and Understanding. The princess spoke, her voice weak but clear. "You saved me, human." Ethan smiled softly. "Just doing my job, Princess Lyra. But you're not out of danger yet." The mercenaries had left the summit in ruins but weren't far. Ethan knew they would return to finish what they started. He needed to get her to a safe place, a medical facility where he could properly treat her. But there was a problem. The princess's biology was delicate, and any stress could worsen her condition. "I need to know more about your physiology, what toxins affect you, how your healing works," Ethan said cautiously. Lyra managed a weak nod. "We Zyra possess natural regenerative abilities, but this poison, it corrupts the cellular matrix. Only the star blossoms of Zhar'thul can purify it." Ethan's mind raced. Star blossoms, rare, almost mythical plants said to grow only on Lyra's homeworld. Without them, she couldn't survive. Chapter 4: A Desperate Journey. Ethan decided the only way to save her was to get to Zhar'thul itself. He secured a small escape shuttle, carefully lifting the princess aboard. Their journey was perilous. Mercenary ships hunted them through the stars. Along the way, Ethan learned more about Lyra and her people. The Zhar'thul had once been a proud, thriving civilization, but after decades of war and disease, their numbers dwindled, making Lyra the last hope for their lineage. Despite their differences, Ethan found himself drawn to her calm strength and quiet resilience. When the shuttle finally dropped into Zhar'thul's atmosphere, the alien landscape below was breathtaking. Glowing forests, crystal-clear lakes, and shimmering star blossoms sparkling like jewels under the twin suns. Chapter 5. The Healing Ritual. At the Royal Healing Temple, ancient Zhar'thul healers awaited, their faces grim. "We feared you wouldn't make it," said Elder Shoren, stepping forward. "The star blossoms must be brewed into a potion to cleanse the toxin." Ethan worked alongside the healers, combining Zhar'thul herbal knowledge with his own medical skills. As the potion simmered, Lyra's condition worsened. The poison was spreading faster than they had anticipated. Ethan held her hand, feeling the faint pulse of life fading. "You have to hold on, princess," he whispered. "We're going to get through this." When the potion was ready, the healers administered it carefully. Minutes passed. Suddenly, Lyra's body began to glow with a brilliant light, her skin regaining its radiant blue hue. The poison's grip loosened, and her breathing deepened. Chapter 6. A New Alliance. Days later, Lyra had recovered enough to stand. She looked at Ethan with renewed strength. "You risked everything to save me, a stranger from another world," she said softly. "I owe you more than my life." Ethan shrugged modestly. "I just did what I thought was right." But the Alliance leaders saw this act as something more profound. The courage of one human medic had not only saved a princess but preserved the fragile peace between worlds. Lyra offered Ethan a place beside her, not as a subordinate, but as an honored member of the Alliance's medical corps, to help bridge the gap between species and share knowledge that could prevent future tragedies. Epilogue. Courage that changed the stars. In the years that followed, Ethan and Lyra worked tirelessly to strengthen bonds between planets. The story of the human medic who had the courage to save the alien princess became legend, a symbol of hope in a galaxy too often torn by conflict. Ethan learned that courage wasn't the absence of fear, it was acting despite it, stepping forward when others faltered. And Lyra understood that true strength came not from power or lineage, but from the willingness to trust and to heal. Together, they changed the course of history, proving that sometimes the smallest acts of bravery could light the darkest corners of the universe.